So, all right, guys. So today we are. Well, before I go into today, let's talk about the past couple weeks, right? I want to reiterate some points that I've made over the past two classes because there's some folks who haven't been here for the past two classes. And I look pointedly and they're like, I want to. Wow, it is loud. So I want to point out two major things that have been big themes for this semester, right? We've talked about basically the broad objective is that we want to be able to attack from the closed guard suddenly as a result of the fact that in the situation where I have gone locked in, I have the safety of control. And once I have gone at risk of a sweep or an armbar, I have the safety of him having to respect this danger. Every single moment between that and there, between these two states of being, I'm just vulnerable. He postures up really hard, all this, I start losing position, everyone laughs at you, you shame your family, it's like a whole thing. So, the goal is, how do I make these adjustments with like sudden movements, right? Rather than like a truck backing up. You should say like, I don't want to adjust this incrementally because they have all this opportunity to counter. What I want is to go from control to danger very quickly. So we're using these big movements, these big sort of pendulum movements generated by my legs and hips, as opposed to, say, pulling in and then doing this sort of foot on the hip thing. We're pulling in and whipping to this spot, right? As opposed to pulling in, loading them up for this pendulum. It's like we're loading in and we're reaching with our feet, right? So we got it. We figured out the closed guard, guys. Great job, everyone. We did it. Excellent. But what if I suck? So for example, like we get the closed guard. He has his posture, and I'm like, posture break. So let's say I break it. Posture break. You can't get under his base, coach. As you can see, this is hard. You know how much stuff I'm on. Okay? So maybe I can break the posture, but I can't get under their base. Okay? So we're going to start addressing this. This is our first point of contention today. So the thing to understand is that usually what will happen, the reason why I can't get under their base, is because their weight settles back. Right? So meaning like if I can get under his base, what sort of happens is like, watch his hips as this happens, is it's like this sort of perpetual forward movement of the hips, right? So actually, let's rotate this way. So it's like his hips just kind of keep going forward until they go forward to the point of destabilization. But what happens often when you try to break the posture, I'm showing this from this angle so you guys are paying attention to the hips more, is I break the posture, but then he settles his hips right, his hips back, and now you're trying to get underneath the here, and it's just like, this is where the instinct to want to put your foot on the hip comes in. He postures up, now I'm lost, and I gotta recover. Excellent. Oh, come on. No, so, what we want to do is handle the fact that this person, I maybe got their shoulders to tip forward, but their hips settled. Does that make sense, guys? Now, something to understand very clearly is that if their hips are heavy, if their weight is in their hips, where is their weight not? Their hands and shoulders, right, exactly, upper body. So this is the thing that's easy to move, right? If I get out of here for a moment. Just stay right there, please. Close guard position. You settle in your base. If I try to push Don's hips over, he's very heavy. If I try to push his shoulders over, he's very light. See, he's very easy to tip. This is why when someone postures up, the hip bump sweep makes sense, because the upper body is off balance, or easy to destabilize, which is going to force a correction, right? His hand posts, so your hand posts, and now I can attack this arm or attack the sweep. Logical, right? We're going to take advantage of that same concept, even if, let's say I have your hinge at the waist and your hands are posted, but you're settling on your hips, right? Because, while again, destabilizing his hips is difficult, pulling his hip forward is difficult, his shoulders are actually really easy to turn, really easy to move. Does that make sense, guys? Moreover, we're going to add a little bit of a helper, okay? So we know that our goal is to get his shoulders to go this way. what I'm going to do, and I'll show this from the position in a second, is we're going to find a way to get this arm to turn. Because, say, I'll give you a little bit of resistance. Like, you kind of resist with some muscle, right? So we've beaten structure, we've beaten leverage. Now we got muscle to beat. Well, if I can, like, rotate his elbow over, well, now, right? You see what I'm saying? So if he pushes into me, that's difficult. But as I turn his elbow over, he becomes weak. Now those muscles start working, and they can't really work in unison. Does that make sense, y'all? Everyone on board? Delightful. So we're in the guard. Blase blah. I've broken the posture. Maybe I've trapped this one arm, but he settles his hips back, right? And again, we talked about he's likely to want to posture up and pull this arm free. I can go ahead and posture up and pull this arm free and kind of hang on to it. But again, as long as his weight's back in his hip, it's going to be very hard for me to keep doing that. It's going to be very hard for me to get under there sometimes. So what I'm going to work for, whether this hand is just resting on my shoulder, or sometimes it's even posted on the ground, ideally posted, but resting on my shoulder is okay. Let me move this, please. Let me get this out of the way, actually. Perfect. I'm going to make a big thumbs up. Everyone make a big thumbs up. If you feel, Don, you can join us. Go ahead, make, yeah. If you feel, right below the bone of your thumb, there's like this thin little membrane thing that opens up, right? So close it, and you'll feel it go away, and then open it, and it comes in. You guys feel that? That little ligament thing there? You guys feel that? Okay. It's a nice little notch that like gets created. I can think of this like reverse Harry Houdini principle. So the escape artist in Houdini, the way that he would get out of like chains is when they were tying him up, he would like flex all his muscles to get all big, and then he would relax once they locked him up so that he could slip and wiggle. He was like double jointed. So we're going to use the same principle but backwards. If I connect to this, slide your sleeve up. Yeah, please. If I connect the groove of my wrist to the right past the knot of his elbow, can everyone see the knot of Don's elbow? Right? Once I open, I have like this little knot here, right? If I'm closed, it's like easy to slip off. I opened, now it's kind of wedged in there. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of chop in there. Many people ask, how do I know where his elbow is? Kind of just keep practicing this movement and you'll get that sort of sense, that tactile sense over time. But the basic gist is I chop it, I open, and then I'm turning it like a wheel. So I don't want to just like think about like pushing, I'm turning. You guys see that rotation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So if Don were to make a big thumbs up, I would turn and he'd have a big thumbs down. Boom. So we go back. So I'm here. I break the posture. Boom, his hand's in that position. He settled his hips. I'm here, I'm turning, and to reinforce, I'm going to push his face. From here, I can either plant my foot. I know sacrilege for the semester, guys, but we're going to do it. Or I can wiggle. Just kind of switch my hips. Knees come up, slide through, fold my arms like I'm cool, and I listen to his wrist while I crush and rotate this elbow down in a circular motion to the floor, like cool. So go back. We're here. Boom. Trying the sweep, he settled back, right? Here. Hold. My goal here, guys, see how his thumb is down, is to crush this arm while I put wrist or pressure up into this wrist and kind of turn his arm. Cool, interesting note about this is, get out of here for just a second. Everybody, big thumbs up, like you're hitching a ride, okay? So your elbow feels no real pressure against it, right? Keep turning your thumb down. Keep going, keep going. Why'd you guys stop? Where's the pressure? Elbow. So if I rotate the arm, it locks, right? This is like a locked point. That's the pressure. I want to kind of turn and crush against it. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah? You with me?
Yes.
You with me, Steven?
My head around.
Yes!
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. So we're here. Hands on my body. I break it. He settles his hips. I can't grab it here. I want to, like, almost like I'm waving my hands if you just don't care. Right? Turn, fold, press. And it's just like, that's the pressure. Now, bonus points for y'all, and for those of you that weren't here last week and stuff, do not feel the need to practice this. If you want, it's bonus. If I pushed him that way, what's the direction he's going to push into me? Exactly. So Dom, please push into me. Boom. Right? The thing I'm going to do to him is this. The logical counter response is this. So I'm just going to take that, reach my toes over my shoulder, and take that same pendulum sweep. So if you have the pendulum sweep in your practice, work that transition. If you don't stress it, just work the arm bar. We're just finding a way to get them up the center line logically. Like I'm not trying to beat him where his weight is, because they're heavy and I'm weak, right? Full of chocolate. So I don't want to do that. Okay? Yeah. Does anyone want to see that again? No? Okay, well, good. Excellent. Let's start up, work out. 1, 2, 3.